Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my Week 7 NFL predictions. Yes, I am getting this video out late. The Bengals Steelers Unk Bowl has already come to a close, and unfortunately, I missed out on a prediction in that game because that game was super good. But I'm going to try and be much better about it this week. Um, but yeah, we're here now, so a like and subscribe and a comment always helps. Let's get straight into this. So this is being played in London. The Rams are favored by 3.5 points, and the Rams have been a super solid team this year. But key thing is they're by far their best receiver is ruled as out for the game, at least from what I'm seeing. Puka is not going to play in this game. Um, and Jacksonville has been extremely good. Yeah, he is out with an ankle injury. And Jacksonville's been super good. Unfortunately for Jacksonville, they lose their young tight end Blake or Brenton Strange. Wait, I thought it was Blake Strange. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. But um he was supposed to be all right this year. But I mean, you look at the Jaguars and who they've lost to. They lost to the Seahawks and to the Bengals on the road early in the year in a game where Brian Thomas Jr. just felt like blowing up and not being able to catch a ball. The Rams lost to the Colts in the game where the guy decided to drop the ball at the 1 yard line, which would have ultimately probably at least won the Colts the game or at least taken them to overtime where they could have potentially won. And their other loss was an overtime loss against the 49ers in a game they were trailing practically the whole time. You take away Puka Nacua from the equation, the Jaguars have a massive step on the Rams, in my opinion. Now, that doesn't mean the Rams are just nothing without Puka. No, not true. They still have so much talent on the team, and they are a good-ass football team. I just think without Puka Nacua, who has been so reliable, you lose that sense of like reliance. Now, Matthew Stafford doesn't have the quick, easy option every single time. Now, he should still be able to find other players, but who knows how efficiently those players will continue to get open because Puka was open every single freaking play. I think I'm going to take the Jaguars in this one. Trevor Lawrence, Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter. The Jaguars have been surprising to me, to say the least. I didn't think they were going to be able to get it done. Travis Hunter honestly hasn't done like too much this year, but he definitely is still on the field, and that's going to be a problem. But he made a great catch in last week's game, I believe it was, or the week before that. I can't really remember. But he made a spectacular way up there catch. And I think the Jaguars have put together a pretty good team. Their defense is also significantly improved, and they have a big win over the Chiefs, man. That speaks numbers in my eyes. They compete, they don't quit, and I really like their head coach. I think the Jaguars are going to win this one in London, but this one will be really close. These two teams feel like they are very well matched, but I've got the Jaguars picking this one up. Raiders at Chiefs. God, is Geno Smith even starting? Like, I don't even know what has been happening to the Raiders because they've just been so in the back of my mind. Like, wow, what a play by the Seahawks to just get Geno out of there and pick up Sam Darnold. I mean, Sam Darnold's been doing good. He hasn't been like extraordinary, but he's been doing pretty good for the Seahawks. But Geno has been ass. I mean, Geno has been butt cheeks at the Raiders. And that definitely hurts to Raiders fans to see, but normally this would be a game where I would say the Raiders actually have a very strong fighting chance, but that's against an undefeated Chiefs team. This is a two-loss Chiefs team. No, I'm sorry, 3-3 Chiefs team who is getting ready to go on a rampage and show that they are still one of the best teams in the league because it feels like they are playing at a very elite level and they are just 3-3. It feels like crazy to say that the Chiefs are not what their record says in the other way, that they have lost so many close games. I think the Chiefs are getting ready to drop a dookie on the Raiders in a very important conference game. Because in a conference with the Broncos and the Chargers, and the Chiefs unfortunately loss to the Chargers. You already have a step down. You've got to start working your way back in. The Chargers look vulnerable right now. The Broncos look pretty damn good, but the Chargers are starting to let it slip away from them. The Chiefs have an opportunity here to start to climb back into things, and I think they're going to do so. And I think they're going to do it very efficiently in this game against the Raiders. Dolphins at Browns. Holy moly. Holy moly guacamole. This is some hot ass garbage. I really hope the Dolphins lose this game so they fire Mike McDaniel and then the Cardinals pick him up as our new offensive coordinator because that would be epic. But I do think the Dolphins are pretty underrated for the most part, at least. They played a very close game against the Bills all the way through. Barely lost to the Chargers, barely lost to the Panthers, and barely lost to the Patriots. I mean, realistically, you lost. You look at their schedule, there's only one bad loss, and it was to start the year on the road against the Colts. The Patriots have been playing lights out. The road game against the Bills have been a pretty damn good team. You beat the Jets. The Jets weren't very close in that game. On the road against the Panthers in a back-and-forth game, you did get up big and let the Panthers climb all the way back in, but you didn't quit, and ultimately you lose a close road game. And then you play at home against the Chargers, and you have it right there, and you just lose it in the last couple seconds. And honestly, the Dolphins are super, super underrated. Cleveland, surprisingly, is favored, but I know saying that will come back to bite me in the ass because that probably means the Browns are going to win this game. The Browns have a 1-point loss to a Joe Burrow Bengals team, a absolute annihilation by a Lamar Jackson Ravens team, a win over the Packers, annihilation by the Lions, very close loss against the Vikings, and a bad loss on the road against the Steelers, where they just couldn't find the end zone, and Dylan Gabriel threw 52 passes. So I do think the Browns are not really underrated, if anything, but they're sneaky. I don't know if the Browns are going to. This seems like where bad teams play like bad teams, Like you watch them play competitive against some of the better teams and you're surprised. And then when it comes down to playing a poop team, you're like, oh, surely after last week's performance, they'll win, right? Wrong. I think the Dolphins are going to pick this one up. Even though the Browns have a super good defense, I think the Dolphins are very tricky offensively, and they're looking for a big win here. Jalen Waddle has kind of been all over the place, at least whenever I tune into a Dolphins game. And there hasn't really just been much of a playmaker for the Browns, except for Dylan Gabriel. He has kind of stepped up to the task a little bit. I mean, granted, he's the starting quarterback of the Browns, so he's working with what he's got. But I think the Browns will lose another one, unfortunately. Patriots at Titans. Yeah, there's no way. I don't think they actually know there's a football game tomorrow. I actually think they're still in well, it's at Tennessee, so whatever. But the Patriots they've been playing lights out. Drake May has been really good. The Patriots have been a super highly scoring team this year, and they're a problem. You need to look out for the Patriots. But the Titans, they're not. Their only win is against Cardinals, and it never should have happened. Panthers at Jets. Originally, I said the Jets were going to pick up their first win here against the Panthers. But then I remembered that Rico Dowdle is absolutely breaking out for the Panthers right now. And yeah, that was a revenge game, and it could come to a quiet close. But I'm sorry, I'm really looking at the eyes of the Panther here. I always thought this was like an eyeball looking to the left. Tell me if it is or if it isn't. I just, now that I'm looking at it real close, I just see an angry panther. But I always thought there was like a panther looking in the corner of his eye, and you can maybe see it a little bit right there. And it's like looking to the left. I don't know why I always looked at the Panthers like that, but whatever. Rico Dowdle has been playing really good. The Panthers offensively have been playing pretty sound, and their defense has also picked up a lot from last year. The Panthers aren't entirely horrible this year, so that is a step in the right direction for them. The Jets, they just can't catch a break. I think they're going to make some crucial mistakes in this game, and they're going to lose yet another close game. But This could be the Jets' first win. I could see the Panthers beating the Cowboys last week and then losing to the Jets this week. Saints at Bears. The Saints have been playing teams extremely close all year. Like they're one of the 1-5 teams that I can say is actually underrated because all of their losses have been so competitive. A 7-point loss against the Cardinals where Jawan Johnson had the ball in his hands in the end zone, getting ready to tie the game and send it to OT, and he just couldn't hang on to it. They had an opportunity in a 5-loss game against the 49ers on 4th and 2, but they had a horrible play call where they forget that they actually need the first down, and Spencer Rattler backs up in the pocket, takes a sack, and he ends up fumbling it. So either way, it was kind of Jover. And then the head scratcher is the Seahawks game where they lost 13-44. But then after that, they retaliate and they play a really close game against the Bills, which was literally 19-21 at a point before the Bills finally just like completely put the game away and won 31-19 at the Bills. And then the Saints bounced back with a huge win against the Giants, who the Giants picked up some heat with a win against the Chargers. And then after losing to the Saints, they went and beat the who did they beat? They beat the Eagles, like out of nowhere. And then most recently, a 6-point loss in a constant battle against the Patriots. And honestly, the Saints aren't that bad of a football team. Yeah, they're 1-5 and they can't seem to pick up wins, but they're sneaky and they're honestly not that bad. The Bears, however, have been extremely silent, in my opinion. They've been quietly picking up wins. I don't even know if anybody's been actually paying attention to them, but they unfortunately blew it against the Vikings in week 1 against J.J. McCarthy, letting him score all those points in the fourth quarter. Then they took an absolute beating against the Lions before they bounced back with a gigantor win against the Cowboys. And then they somehow, in a game that really shouldn't have been very close, they ended up managing to pick the victory against the Raiders on the road. The Raiders probably should have won, but they didn't. But more importantly now, which I feel like they played at the Commanders last year, but they're playing again at Commanders again this year. They managed to pick up a victory on the road against the Commanders. The Commanders were up 16-24, and the Bears scored a touchdown on a 55-yard pass, but they couldn't get the 2-point conversion. But then they kicked a game-winning field goal to win by the exact same score as last week. They are heading home to play the Saints. This is going to be in front of their home crowd, who is rejuvenated, and I think they're going to win a close one. I mean, the Saints are going to play them tough, but I think the Bears are going to win a close one here again. I think the Bears are kind of working their way towards a good position right now. This bear is absolutely terrifying. It's not angry or anything. It's just like a soul-gazing stare. It's staring right into the depths of your heart. Like, look at this thing. It's not even angry or anything. It's just got its mouth open and it's just staring you down. Very weird, very weird. Eagles at Vikings. I think they said Carson Wentz is getting the start in this game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they said Carson Wentz is going to get the start this game. So I'm not too sure about that. I can actually just look it up here on my phone real quick. Is Carson Wentz Katzen? Nope. Is Carson Wentz starting? And yeah, J.J. McCarthy injured. Carson Wentz to start for the Vikings. So Carson Wentz is going to start again, which means the Vikings are going to play like ass. The Vikings have a good football team. Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson. I'm not sure if both of them are healthy or not. I literally have not been paying attention to the Vikings, mainly because all of their games have been getting played at 6:30. I feel like their last 2 games, yeah, they've been playing so early, so I haven't really been able to watch them. But yeah, I mean, without, Justin Jefferson, without J.J. McCarthy, Carson Wentz is really not that guy. It is kind of a revenge game for him, so he could potentially brew some chaos, and is at the Vikings. But this Eagles team has been struggling extremely offensively, and the Vikings have a stone-cold defense. They have a really good defense, but ultimately, with Carson Wentz starting, I just don't see how you're going to pull off an upset win here against the Eagles. I say the Eagles pick up the victory here, and easy fashion. They'll find some more offense this week. Colts at Chargers. This matchup would have been great in week 2, but the Chargers have decided they're going to start shitting the bed. Omarion Hampton is hurt. Quentin Johnston was hurt. I think he's back now. And Justin Herbert is not playing like he was in the first couple weeks. He's resulting back to the Justin Herbert that we know and love. Just kidding. We loved the Justin Herbert that was winning games and playing like the MVP. Now he's not. The Colts, on the other hand, have a potential MVP candidate, and that is Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has slowed down a little bit, barely scraped out a win against the Cardinals. That people say there was a questionable holding call, but I personally don't think that it was a pass interference or a holding. The ball wasn't even close to catchable. If Jacoby Brissett could have been better, then that probably would have been called holding or something or pass interference. But since the ball was so far out of bounds and just out of the way, it didn't even really matter. But the Colts have picked up some extremely impressive wins throughout the year, and their only real loss is a game they blew against the Rams where they had a go-ahead touchdown, and the dude just drops it, and you don't get points. You lose so much momentum there. But either way, sorry for the stutter. Either way, they are 5-1. They're really good. The Colts go to the Chargers. I would love to say the Chargers pick up a win here, but I think the Colts have been playing lights out this year. I'm going to take the Colts in this one. Jonathan Taylor also, I haven't even talked about him. He's having a freaking historical season, bro. He's so good. He's unstoppable in the backfield right now. Everything Saquon was last year, not in terms of like the breakaway runs and whatnot and yards, but Jonathan Taylor has been that running back. Like he's been that top tier running back this year. Don't sleep on him. Don't sleep on the Colts. I don't think anybody is, but the Colts are really fucking good right now. I think they're going to be able to go on the road and pick up a win against the Chargers. Giants at Broncos. Fun matchup. I love Jackson Dart and Cam Skattebo, but at the Broncos, time to drop back to real life. I think the Broncos are going to pick up a win here fairly easily. Jackson Dart is going to run into one of the craziest D lines in the league. They are always in the backfield, and they are brutal. They are evil. They are going to get back there, and they are going to get back there fast. If they don't get them, they're probably going to force a lot of penalties out of the Giants' O-line and holding calls and stuff. I think it's going to be really hard for the Giants to move the ball, but I do think there's one thing that will move the ball for them. That's Cam Skattebo. But I don't think it's going to be enough to push them to a victory, as well as the Bo Nix has been playing a lot better since the start of the year. I think the Broncos are going to find some serious offense and put down a big one. Packers at Cardinals. Kyler Murray is out from what I saw earlier today. Jacoby Brissett will start. That means we lost. Because the reason he was so good, quote unquote, against the Colts was because, one, our offensive coordinator was dialing up pass plays, and two, teams don't get to see backup quarterbacks play until the first game where they get to watch him play. Well, the Colts didn't get to watch Jacoby Brissett play under the Cardinals playbook or anything like that. They didn't get to say, I'm not using that as necessarily like a full 100% reason of why he is playing better. I do think the Cardinals overall, I mean, we've lost 4 games that are by 1 score, like literally close as they get. And there is some potential that the Cardinals can pull off a win here, but we'd have to play lights out on both sides of the ball. The Packers have been struggling a lot, but this would be the type of game where they just go off because it's not a postseason game. It's a regular season game, but I just don't feel confident with Jacoby Brissett back there to win a game. I think the Packers are going to be leading this one for a while, and the Cardinals will try to make another late comeback, and they'll take another loss. Commanders at Cowboys. You can probably expect this one to be pretty high scoring because that's how the Cowboys games have been all year. And it's truly tragic that they don't have a good defense, even though I hate the Cowboys, because their offense has been playing so freaking good this year. This could be like a very highly regarded Cowboys team if they had a defense, but they don't. So I think the Commanders are going to hit the road and pick up a pretty big one. The Commanders are finding their footing with a big win against the Chargers, unfortunately losing by a point to the Bears, but there's no better way to bounce back than at the Cowboys. And you best believe they're going to come out here and play hard. Falcons have 49ers. Falcons picked up a very impressive win against the Bills, and they have picked up some really impressive wins, including their 30-0 loss against the Panthers. Wait, what? Yeah, that is just a complete mind boggler there because the Falcons have been so good. It's like, how did they lose 30-0? I understand if you lose by 3 points or something like 24-27, but 30-0? The 49ers, on the other hand, have been one of the most actually surprising teams. You know, they're 4-2 right now, which they took a pretty big loss against the Buccaneers at the Buccaneers. But like, dude, they managed to beat the Rams at the Rams in overtime. They barely lost to the Jaguars in a game they turned the ball over a bunch. They in the rest of their games, I mean, they beat the Seahawks, they beat the Saints, and they beat the Cardinals, all in very close ones. They've managed to go 4-2 for this long. I don't see what's really stopping them other than the fact that Nick Bosa and Fred Warner are cooked, and their defense is going to dwindle a bit. Their defense is definitely going to dwindle in this one. It's going to be down to the offense if they can just keep pushing forward. I think the 49ers are going to get it done, though, because the Falcons haven't really been able to play past 24 or 27 points. They haven't really been able to play past it. I think the 49ers are going to cook up some big-time plays on the offense, especially with Christian McCaffrey. I think the 49ers pick up a win here. Bucks at Lions. Baker Mayfield, take us to the promised land. I've got the Buccaneers winning this one on the road. The Lions defense has been kind of poop. Their offense has been really good, but Baker Mayfield is Baker Mayfield. And we all know it. We all see it. We're all aware of it. Even without any wide receivers, I think Mike Evans is actually going to play in this game, which would be a huge game changer for the offense entirely for the Buccaneers, even with Emeka Egbuka out. It says Evans likely to play and optimism on Egbuka 14 hours ago. So Mike Evans is still questionable. It's on Monday night. But Emeka Egbuka is also questionable. So if both of them somehow manage to pull through and play, yeah, the Lions are in deep shit. But I think even without him, bro, Baker is still playing like Baker. And he's just pushing this offense to new heights. It's going to be their defense that really struggles against the Lions, but every defense will. But I think the Bucks will pick up a win there. Texans at Seahawks, our last game. The Texans have been very, very good defensively. There's no question about that. Their defense has been very good. So has the Seahawks. But unfortunately for Texas, they're heading into probably the craziest stadium out there right now. If not them, it's Green Bay, but two very close stadiums in craziness. The Seahawks is one of the hardest places to play in. I think the Seahawks are going to pick up another win. You also have to deal with Jackson Smith and Jigba, which I don't care how good your defense is. He is going to play good. But with all that, that's all for me. You know, I'm sorry I didn't really get any review videos or anything. I kind of sucked donkey dick this week, but I'll try to be better. If you made it this far, I love you. I love you. But a like and subscribe would help. A comment always helps. That's all from me. Adios.